You're not at peace. You're just hoping it will come after. After you complete the mission, after you're finally seen, after the world stops misunderstanding you. You've made stillness into a reward, a prize for endurance, a payoff for pain. But stillness was never meant to be earned. It was meant to be inhabited. And if your peace only arrives once the war is over, it isn't peace, it's relief. Robert Spira once said, "Peace is not the opposite of disturbance. It's the absence of identification with it." Let me translate that for you. Stillness is not a treat, it's a terrain. You don't climb your way to it through performance, you drop into it by surrendering the need for a result. It doesn't arrive when you've fixed enough, forgiven enough, or fought hard enough. It arrives the moment you stop trading your presence for an outcome. Most men don't rest because their rest is conditional, their peace is a contract. We've been taught this since childhood. Be a good boy and we'll stop yelling. Work hard and we'll tell you we're proud. Succeed and we'll finally give you permission to stop proving yourself. That was the structure. Stillness came after pleasing, after appeasing, after pain. And so you internalized the lie that you must earn your way into presence, that stillness is the end, not the ground beneath your feet. But the deeper truth is this: you can stop now, not because everything is perfect, but because stillness doesn't require perfection to be true. I meet men all the time who are exhausted, not because life is unbearable, but because they've made peace something they must qualify for. They say, "I'll rest when I'm clear. I'll rest when I'm done. I'll slow down once they understand. I'll breathe once I finish building the thing." But what if none of that comes? What if the applause never arrives? What if the love doesn't return? What if the outcome never changes? Does that mean you don't get to be still? If so, you've built a God out of future conditions, and that God may never bless you. Stillness is not a reward. It is a weapon, a blade so clean it cuts through the addiction to striving. And when you pick it up, the world doesn't quieten for you. You quieten in the middle of the noise, and you realize you never needed it to stop. You just needed to stop requiring it to. Let me say this clearly. There is a stillness that makes you unreachable, not cold, not numb, not disassociated, but untouchable. Not because you've risen above the world, but because you've stopped needing it to agree with your movement. You no longer wait for the storm to pass. You no longer wait for the battle to end. You become the field untouched by either. You might be thinking to yourself, but isn't there value in the fight, in the mission? Of course, there's honor in movement, sacredness in the sword, power in purpose. But when your rest is held hostage by how well the mission is going, you're not sovereign, you're a slave to the mission. Stillness is what keeps your movements clean, because without it, you start fighting from emptiness, you start building for validation, you start transmitting to be heard, and then you're no longer coherent, you're just noisy. This is the secret. Stillness isn't what follows clarity, it's what produces it. It's the place from which the signal emerges. It's the reason your words cut. It's why your silence carries more power than your effort, not because you've paused, but because you're no longer leaking. The man who rests before battle is more dangerous than the one who waits for the applause after, because he no longer trades energy for recognition. He simply holds the field. You may lose people when you begin to rest for no reason. They'll say, "You've given up, you're quiet, you're lazy, disconnected, unreachable." But what they're really saying is this: your stillness no longer confirms the contract I had with your struggle. Because once you stop proving, you stop being predictable. And once you stop striving, they no longer know where to place you, and that unsettles people. Let them be unsettled. Let the world misunderstand your stillness. Because the deeper you go into silence, the less you'll need to translate. You will become a field that recalibrates those around you, not by force, but by presence. Now that is peace without performance. That is stillness without reward. Let me end with this. There's a place inside you that no one can reach. It does not ask for proof. It doesn't negotiate for belonging. It doesn't require resolution. It's not the end of the path. It is the path. And it's always here, even now as you hear this. Inhale. Do you feel it? This is stillness. It's not earned. It's inhabited. Welcome to The Architect Speaks.